Okay, we're now on day 2 player workout. Isaiah is doing the intermediate skip for 2 minutes, and he's going at a nice even pace. And this is a warm up for day 2, so you don't have to go for numbers. It's just a nice even pace. Marcus is now going to do backward skipping, and same thing, a nice even pace. He's probably going to have to go a little bit quicker because there we go. So he'll do 1 minute of backward skipping and then 1 minute of forward skipping, all at the same pace. And again, it serves as a warm up for the other exercises that we're going to do on day 2. Okay, Isaiah is now doing the crossover hops and land. And again, just like on day 1, when we did the lateral hops, it's very important that you hold the landing. So the crossover and get some distance, hold the landing. And you're going to do 4 sets of 8 seconds each. Marcus is now doing the neck rolls and shoulder shrugs, which is identical to what we do in our pre-game warm-ups. You'll go both ways. Close your eyes and relax. Keep your body nice and tall. Breathe well. And now we'll go into the shoulder shrugs, nice and slow. Really exaggerate them. Forwards and backwards. I always use the analogy, try to touch your shoulders to your ears. Again, this needs to be done nice and slow. And this is, okay, Isaiah's doing the motoring with quick feet with a quarter side turn. You're trying to do 4 turns in 8 seconds. You'll rest and then do 4 sets in 8 seconds. Okay? Marcus has our arm circles here. He starts out nice and small and then gets nice and big. You'll go forwards and backwards, and you'll do these arm circles in both directions for 60 seconds. Really exaggerate when they're nice and big, so you get a good stretch. Another analogy, as you're coming back, try and touch your shoulder blades together. Isaiah's doing the modified hurdle stretch, which is very similar to day 1. We'll reach for the toes and then look down at the kneecap, and we hold this for 30 seconds to each leg. About every 3 or 4 seconds, try and go a little bit further, and eventually you'll be able to extend your hand beyond your foot, keeping that leg nice and flat on the floor. Marcus is doing the crossover run for 5 seconds in one direction and then back. You'll notice the high knee drive, pumping of the arms, and very quick feet. You'll go one direction and back, and then you'll have a 10-second rest, bouncing balls in your rest time, and then you'll repeat this exercise. If you need more rest time, take that, but if you don't, 10 seconds rest, and then this repeats for 60 seconds. So you're actually doing the exercise for 30 seconds. Isaiah is in the hockey stretch again, which again we call pigeon stretch. 30 seconds to each leg. Again, just the same as day 1. You'll notice how his leg is parallel to his hips, and we can sink the hips down a little bit, lower the body to get a little bit more stretch here. And again, you'll do this 30 seconds to each leg, 2 times on each side.
And the more that you can extend that back leg, the stretch will be more intense.
Okay, Marcus is doing the figure 8 around 2 obstacles. This lasts for 10 seconds. He stays nice and square to the front of the drill, moving his feet very quickly, pumping the arms. After 10 seconds, he rests for 10 seconds, and then repeats and does 4 sets of this.
It's important as well for this exercise to take the time you need, the rest, so that you can make every set as fast as you possibly can.
Isaiah's doing the seated V-leg stretch. He'll go to the left leg, then to the middle, then to the right, and each of these stretches he holds for 15 seconds. You'll repeat this 2 times. Marcus is doing the figure 4 stretch. You'll hold this stretch for 30 seconds, to each leg. You'll notice that he wants the leg that's straight, as high as possible, as straight as possible. And this is getting a real good stretch into the deep glute muscle. And again, you'll hold this for 30 seconds to each leg. Relax and breathe normal. Keep the small of the back, which is the lower back, flat on the floor. Isaiah's doing a karaoke across the room for 5 seconds, and then he comes back for 5 seconds. Once he's back here, he'll have a 10-second rest, bouncing balls like we did before, and then the exercise would repeat, and you would do it for a total of 60 seconds. So again, the exercise portion would be 30 seconds in duration, real quick feet for 5 seconds each direction. Make sure you keep yourself square to the front of the room so you're looking forwards. Marcus is doing the standing hip flexor stretch. You'll notice again, hands are on the hips. Back is nice and straight. To get more out of the stretch, you're just going to push your hips into the floor. You'll do that for 30 seconds to each leg. Nice and tall. Hands on the hips, push down into the floor, real good stretch. Isaiah's doing the shoulder rotation with tubing. This is the internal rotation. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that you keep that elbow close to the body. So we use the analogy, if there was a piece of paper in between, you would have to keep that piece of paper up without allowing it to fall to the floor. He'll now switch to the external rotation. So it's the same analogy with the paper. With both of these, you're going to do 10 repetitions.
And as you can see, Isaiah is twisting a little bit. We want to stay nice and square to the front and have the movement happen just at the shoulder joint. That's better.
Okay. Then Marcus is doing the 1, 2, 3 quick feet, pumping the arms. He'll go for 6 seconds, and then he'll stop and do a side lunge stretch to the right for 10 seconds. Again, pushing the hips down a little bit, a nice stretch, and then he'll go to the left for 10 seconds. Same lunge stretch. And then that repeats for 4 sets. Good pumping of the arms, quick feet, and then the lunge stretch repeats itself as well. Okay. Isaiah's doing the shoulder up and outs and down and across the body with tubing. You'll notice how he's taking the tubing away from the body and up and full extension. And you'll do this for 10 repetitions to each side. Marcus has the down and across, and he's coming across down and across his body hard, try to get as close to the floor as possible. And you'll do this again to both sides, 10 repetitions each. Isaiah is now doing the butterfly stretch. You're going to grab your ankles and pull your heels in. You sit nice and tall. And eventually, as you get better at this, you can start applying some pressure with your elbows to the insides of your knees and force the legs down a little bit more. Remembering to sit tall. Every once in a while, pull the heels in a little bit further. And we'll hold this stretch for two sets of 30 seconds each.
Okay.
So Marcus is doing the child's pose. And when you do this, again, you want to sit back on your haunches just as he is. Get as close down to the knees, the chest down to the knees. Head looks down, arms are fully extended, and you relax and breathe. And each time you breathe, try and go a little bit further and just relax all the muscles in your body.